some point in time, you have to actually have a call to action. You have to actually decide, all right, I'm going to put my pen and paper down and actually go do what I'm saying. Go do what I'm writing down in my book of goals. Go do it. You know what I'm saying? You got to actually go do it. In order to actually do it, you got to have the time to do it. You got to have the energy to do it. You got to have the focus to do it. You got to limit the distractions. It's as simple as that. Limit the distractions. I know a lot of you, you want to live a certain life where you could balance this and balance that. The best way to balance is limit stuff. It's not just adding more stuff. Like, every time you add something more into your life, you have less time for something else now. You know what I'm saying? How we looking? What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Just, and I'm just here to keep it real with you on this channel, man. Today we're gonna get straight into the vid, man. No time for the extra fluff. Today's video is exactly what the title says, man. It's 2026, so there's a couple things that have to be taken out, and there's a couple things that have to be implemented. You feel what I'm saying? It's what you're taking in, pause, and what you're taking out, what you're removing. Things gotta change if you want your success trajectory to stay up. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing you want to do, right? I'm going to give you guys basically like a 4-step blueprint with subdivision steps in between these, processes or whatnot. So it's going to be 4 different sections, and it's going to be subdivisions within those sections. The sections are the steps, 4 ways, 4 reasons, whatever, however you want to put it. But this is how it's going to work, right? So the first one is going to be God, right? You want to make God the center of your life. It's 2026, right? It's 2026, right? I'll say that again. It's 2026. Now is the best possible time to get close with God. Now is the best possible time to make your relationship with God, increase it with Him, find your inner self, spend more time with yourself, spend more time with God, read your Bible, do what you have to do and align yourself, because like I said, it's 2026. Eventually all of this is going to come to an end, right? These clothes, the camera, the everything's going to come to an end at some point. And you got to ask yourself, what's after that? Because just when you think you've seen the bigger picture, right? You believe that your success is the biggest accomplishment, okay? And that's it. And that's the bigger picture. What about after that, right? There's also a life you have to worry about after that. And to sustain that life is you got to sustain your soul. Best way to sustain your soul, keep a good relationship with God. So that's number 1, right? Keep a good relationship with God, keep him in the center of your life. If you are doing any venture, you're venturing off into any business, you're venturing off into any type of content, any type of activity, what you want to do is you want to ask God, okay, do I have the green light? And here's what God will do, right? God will either be like, no, you don't got the green light, steer you a different direction, or God will throw a bunch of different stuff at you so that He can build you up, so that you have the capacity to have the green light for that thing that you want. You feel what I'm saying? So for the people that's confused, right? If you don't know what I'm saying, I'll give you a visual representation, right? This is you. Let's circle it. This is you, right? This is the center. If you're confused, we're looking at 3 different circles now. It's not 3 different circles. We're looking at 3 circles now. You, God, this is the circle. Now look. Venture off. Basketball. Streaming. This is one a lot of people like now these days, right? What's another one? All right. You see all these divisions, you see all these different type of activities and things that I do, and just have a part of my life, your different streams, all of that. They're all centered and surrounded about me and God, right? That's what it's all surrounded around, right? It's not them with me in this circle, and then it's God on the outside. It's me, God, and then the stuff around me. So that's a visual representation. Another thing you want to add to this 2026 blueprint is silence. All right, I can't stress it enough, fellas. I do not want to see on your stories no more every single move, every single plan, every single idea you're about to make. Unless this is a private story and only your best mastermind thinkers is on this story or on this account, then the people who have the best interest for you on this account, then don't be posting it. Don't be telling everybody about your ideas, your blessings, your plans, any of that stuff. Because what that does is it puts more of a target and it puts more pressure on you, right? When you're failing, you would rather fail in silence where nobody really knows for real, or would you rather fail on a big stage when all the lights are on you? You know what I'm saying? But if you stayed silent about it while I was in construction, people will get the finished and final product, which would look even better compared to as if you're just showing everybody right away and now they're seeing you fail consistently. Now, if you're just thinking about it from a different aspect, let's say you don't even care about whether people watch you fail or not, right? The whole reason for silence is to protect the blessing that you have or whatever you're working on, right? There's people that literally sit here, and I'm telling you, they're real life people where you would tell them your idea and they will literally run off with your idea, put a little twist to it and take originality and basically stamp it like it was theirs. It happens all the time in rap, it happens all the time in regular music, it happens all the time in fashion, it happens all the time in lingo. It's all stems and roots of stuff that happened in the past, right? So when you're in silence, it's better off you give people the final product, the finished product, the finished you. Or not even the finished you, just a better version of you, an upgraded version of you without you documenting and showing everybody while in the process. You know what I mean? Because then it not only does make you look better, it protects the blessing and it protects the thing you're actually working on. With this silence thing, it's a 2-step process, right? I just told you guys the first step, which is going to be actually hushing your mouth, right? You don't want to be showing everybody everything you got going on. You don't want to be showing them your private life. And private life, what I mean is your love life, right? Your business, anything outside of that, if it doesn't relate to if your business is not public, right, and it doesn't relate to helping people or serving people or all that other stuff, then you shouldn't be sharing it with everybody, right? Your love life, it's your romantic relationship, shouldn't be sharing that with everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's okay if you post a picture, 1-2, snap 1-2 or whatnot, but when you get to, telling everybody all the drama you're going through online and all other stuff, that's when it becomes an issue, it becomes a problem, right? So first step, silence. Second step is action, right? And I know you're probably like, yo, that's just cliche. Say less and do more. Yeah, it's cliche for a reason, because everybody's been trying to tell you the same thing over and over. You continue to tell everybody your moves before you make them, and then you wonder why your moves look funny when you make them. You get what I'm saying? Stop telling people your moves before you make them. Just make them. How about that? This world would be completely different if people just made the moves, and then, once people see the final product, then when they ask them, they could be like, okay, well, this is what I did. This was my process. And I'm not saying don't document your process. Guys, I document everything I do. When I'm in the gym, sometimes I record myself. When I'm, in the gym and I'm pushing different weights, I track my weight. When I'm eating, my diet goals, I track my weight. I document this and that, all this other stuff. I take pictures of my food. Like, for me, it's okay to document your life, but keep it to yourself. Keep it silence within yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't be showing up and showing out for everybody when they don't need to see it. I'm never saying don't put yourself out there. I'm not saying don't, inspire people. I'm not saying don't motivate people. I'm saying if you're going to be out there expressing your life or whatever, do it strategically. Do it in a way where your life is still private and under silence. You're actually doing more than what you're saying. Because here's what people are gonna do, right? When they catch you saying more than what you're actually doing, they're gonna start critiquing every single thing you say. And you as a human, like I always say, you're gonna naturally mess up. But I did that you mess up. You don't wanna get crucified for saying one thing and doing another, because it's like, bro, I never said anything in the first place. I just did it, you know what I'm saying? But before you speak and before you act, you gotta think. The 2-step process to this blueprint for the second part is silence, then action. Don't say anything, do it first. And then when it's done, then you can do all the talking you want. You can tell everybody all about it, man. People are gonna be so proud of you, gonna pat you on the back, right? You're gonna get all the praise you want for it. You're gonna, whole documentary gonna come out, Hey, you're gonna have your time, bro, but trust, just hold off on what it is, just for a little bit while it's under construction still. I know you get excited, you have some good news, you have something new, you want to show somebody, you want to tell somebody immediately, automatically. That's human. That's a human feeling. People like me still get those type of urges every day, all the time. You feel what I'm saying? But it's up to you to control them, to be like, all right, this doesn't need to be said out loud right now. This doesn't need to be shared to the world right now. With your actions, you should be able to show everybody what you did without having to explain yourself. And, show the process, silence, then action. All right, fellas, third thing you want to implement in your 2026 blueprint is consistency, right? Most cliche statement you've ever heard, right? Everybody always say, be consistent. But you gotta understand, why do they say it, right? I'm gonna tell you exactly what consistency is, and I'm gonna tell you what it's not. Consistency is repetition with intention, right? Now, repetition with intention is a big difference between just doing reps, right? If I go to the gym, right, and I come in with no plan, no nothing, not even know what I want to work on until I touch the weight, it's not repetition with intention. It becomes consistency and repetition with intention. When I know, okay, today I'm working on my arms, chest, and back. Okay, boom. So I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna do some bicep curls. I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna do the bench. I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna do some incline bench press. Like, I'm gonna do this and that, and I'm gonna do with this certain amount of reps and this certain amount of time frame. That's what consistency is, right? Consistency is commitment to a process, right? Consistency is, okay, I decided I'm going to show up every single day with this process. Simple as that. And consistency is showing up every time. It's hand in hand with the second point I just made. Showing up every time. This is where the discipline comes into play. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just, okay, even if I don't feel like it, I'ma still come, right? The real truth about consistency is that it's all the boring stuff. It's all of that too. Even the boring stuff too. You still have to be consistent with it. You know what I'm saying? Be consistent, man. Be consistent in your actions. Be consistent in your thoughts. Be consistent in what you do and who you are. You know what I'm saying? It's as simple as that. Use that blueprint in 2026. It's gonna get you right to where you need to be. I'll use another example, right? If you're just dating a girl for the first time, right? And you are one of the gentlemen that like to come out of your car and come to her side of the car and open the door for her, this is what you're gonna do, right? If you're gonna do that, be a consistent man with it. Don't be a man that, okay, well, only on the first date I decided I was gonna open her door for her, but now for the rest of our relationship, I'm not doing that. Nah, if you're gonna do that, hold that standard. Start with something, finish it, man. Be consistent, follow through with it. You know what I'm saying? So if I know, okay, cool, I'm the type of gentleman that opens my door for my girl before she gets into the car or after she steps, like when we're stepping out the car, I'm gonna make sure I do that every time there's a car. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna be consistent in everything that you do. And the last part of this blueprint for 2026 that you would implement into your lifestyle, right? And it may be confusing to a couple of you guys. This is why you gotta pay attention and listen to me. It's limits, right? Now you're probably thinking, Josh, why would I ever put a limit on my life? Why would I put a limit on my lifestyle? What are you trying to do? You're not trying to make us great. You're trying to set us down the wrong path. Relax, right? I tell you limits, I mean good limits. I mean limits on the things that you know aren't going to necessarily add to your life. The things that may even subtract from your life. You know what I'm saying? Put a limit on it. Whether that's romantic relationships, whether that's video games, whether that's binge watching TV, all type of distractions. Put a limit on it, right? For me, I know a big one for me. I put a limit on relationships in general. Meaning like I won't be getting into a relationship for a while. And that's more so because of the type of content that I make and the plans that I have for myself and the speed that I'm trying to move at. Even though it's on God's timing, I don't think that right now is the best time for me in my age and what I'm trying to get done to be also worrying and considering about somebody else. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but that's just how it is for me. You know what I'm saying? It could be different for somebody else. Maybe you could be able to maintain a relationship and your ambitions and hustles that you got going on. As of right now, I know that's one thing I put a full limit on. Relationships, you know what I'm saying? I'm out here right now on my grind, on my focus, worrying about myself, you know what I'm saying? I really don't have the time to be worrying about somebody else right now in this stage of life. You know what I'm saying? Right now is the building, the sculpting, the creation phase, you know what I'm saying? Make a name for yourself out there, you know what I'm saying? Make a career, make decisions, make choices. This is what that segment of my life is about, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not necessarily going to be in any relationships right now, and that's a limit that I put on my life so that I could excel. These 4 stages, these 4 processes that I gave you guys, I gave it to myself as well, right? You gotta probably wonder why you didn't drop this video a little early, why you didn't drop it on the 1st of January. I dropped this video on the 8th of January because I needed to make sure I gave myself time to actually implement what I was saying as well. So everything I have in these processes, when it starts with God first, the silence to action, the consistency, and the limits and the distractions, I already started doing it. I already started implementing it. Or if not, I already had it implemented from 2025 and I just carried it on to 2026, but just with, an upgraded version of it in a better fashion, in a smoother fashion, you know what I'm saying? Put a limit on your distractions, right? If you like to watch TV, right? I'm not saying don't do what I did and just shut something down all the way. You want to watch TV? Okay, it's cool to watch TV, but put a timer on. I'm only gonna watch TV for an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? So that you're not going through your whole day. Next thing you know, you're on the couch for 4 or 5 hours and you're like, where'd all the time go? Because you got distracted and you was watching TV. You got no limit, you got no discipline. Your focus was just on the TV and you didn't even see all the other time that you could have been using to work, build, create, jot down, analyze, like, you know, reflect on, like, these all time, like all that time that you use watching that TV, all right, you could have cut it by at least 3-4 hours and did something like that to get you closer to what you actually want to do, which is be the people on the TV. If you like, I don't understand, why would you being the people on the TV? The best way to get there is not by watching them on the TV. It's about going out and doing what you have to do to be on that TV. You know what I'm saying? That's for the people out there that want to act, right? I know they tell you to watch your film and watch from the greats. Obviously, yeah, you got to watch what they do. You know what I'm saying, how they walk, how they talk, and all that other stuff. It's good to do your research, it's good to study. But at some point in time, you have to, just like I said in that second part of this blueprint or whatnot, right? At some point in time, you have to actually have a call to action. You have to actually decide, all right, I'm going to put my pen and paper down and actually go do what I'm saying. Go do what I'm writing down in my book of goals. Go do it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta actually go do it. So it's like, in order to actually do it, you gotta have the time to do it. You gotta have the energy to do it. You gotta have the focus to do it. You gotta limit the distractions. It's as simple as that. Limit the distractions. I know a lot of you, you know, you wanna live a certain life where you could balance this and balance that. The best way to balance is to limit stuff. It's not just adding more stuff. Like, you know, every time you add something more into your life, you have less time for something else now. You know what I'm saying? You have but so much capacity. Learn to limit the distractions, right? Not saying it's not, you know, it's not okay to watch TV every once in a while or play video games every once in a while, or, you know, have a nice time, go enjoy some lunch with a girl every once in a while. But it's like, you gotta have a limit to it. You gotta have some type of schedule, some type of plan, you know? Don't just be, you know, just going about with everything going with the flow. Then you get stuck in some other flow you're not supposed to be in, instead of the flow you're supposed to be in, instead of the flow you created. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, this is real simple. I gave you guys a 4-step process. You feel what I'm saying? It's really not that hard to implement. I just think the hardest part would probably be the consistency, right? Every day deciding, okay, I'm gonna do this every single day. The days when I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to implement this process right now today. Well, you got to, because you told yourself in the process itself that you would be consistent. So if I decided I'm going to uphold this process, this blueprint that I just created for myself in 2026, I'm gonna have to be consistent with it. I'm gonna have to do it every single day, starting from the 1st of January, which I did, even through today, right, which is the 8th, up until December 31st. And by that time, I'm pretty sure it will be laced within me, and it won't be something that I would have to wake up and check, like, okay, did I do this? It's just natural. It flows to me now. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, y'all, the 4-step process to this 2026 blueprint that you want to implement is God. Silence to action. Don't forget the to action, because you want to be silent in your actions, you want to be silent before your actions, and you want to actually do the action. So silence to action, consistency, and limits on distractions. It's as simple as that, but the actual process of doing it is the hard part. So hopefully you got something from this video. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully I didn't just yap your ear off and everything went over your head. I hope that, you know, you got something away from this video and you're able to share it on to somebody else who may need this, who may need to hear this right now. And if that's the case, share it to them, man. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Keep showing love, y'all. Y'all doing y'all thing out here, man. Y'all helping me do my thing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all helping me create, produce, and do better, man. Like I always say, man, the stars is up and the stars is out.